Apparently, there's this Republican group chat, like Republican leaders, where they said things like, I love Hitler and we need to bring gas chambers back and stuff like that for Democrats. It was in a Telegram group chat that leaked just recently. And I want to read this Politico article. I believe that this was the original report on it. Really disturbing stuff. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about their enemies and driving them to and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the N-word and variations of the racial slur more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to as epic. Peter Gunta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Gunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the Republicans' 15,000-member political organization for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. Two members of the chat responded. Here's a screenshot. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. When do we start bullying, dude? We have a solid 3 people who can probably have them want to jump. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we bring that side out? I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. In response to the question, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? He says, I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers didn't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn now. We got to pretend we all like them. Hey, come on in, take a nice shower and relax. Boom, they're dead. That is literally exactly what happened in Germany. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. Joe Maligno? Yeah, Joe Maligno, who previously identified himself as the general counsel for the New York State Young Republicans, wrote back. The New York State Young Republicans General Counsel. I'm ready to watch people burn now. The exchange is part of a trove of Telegram chats obtained by Politico and spanning more than 7 months of messages among young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of Republican activists talk when they think no one is listening. Since Politico began making inquiries, one member of the group chat is no longer employed at their job, and another job offer was rescinded. Prominent New York Republicans, including Representative Elise Stefanik and State Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort, have denounced the chat. And festering resentments among young Republicans have now turned into public recriminations, including allegations of character assassination and extortion. Thing is, Republicans have been talking like this forever, and we've known that this is what it's all about, at least since Mark Robinson. And that was years ago. Mark Robinson calls himself a black Nazi, quote unquote. A bunch of his, Amazon reviews and stuff leaked because we discovered Mark Robinson's user account on a bunch of different services. Mini Soldier was the name. And he was buying concentration camp diorama, little model pieces or whatever. He built a model concentration camp in his basement. Here, right here, this is Mark Robinson, Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, ran for governor of North Carolina and lost, was effectively canceled, but is still involved in politics.
Idiotic guy was on stage with Candace Owens a few days ago and asked her, what America are we going back to make America great again? The one where women couldn't vote or black people were swinging from trees? I would say to him, if I was standing in front of him, I absolutely want to go back to the America where women couldn't vote. Do you know why? Because in those days, we had people who fought for real social change, and they were called Republicans.
Okay, you mean liberals. You mean the left. Republicans were on the left. So you're saying the left was fighting for social change back then, and you want to go back to a time when we didn't have social change? I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense at all.
And they are the reason why women can vote today. Those days that he talked about when black folks were swinging from trees. Guess who it was out there fighting?
Yeah, the liberals, the left. Of course, the left was fighting for civil rights. They've always fought for civil rights.
To bring that to an end, to bring Jim Crow to an end. It was Republicans.
Yes, the left.
Right. So that's the America we want to bring back. We want to bring back the America where Republicans and principles and true ideas of freedom rule.
I don't really understand what his point here. Like, he wants to go back to when women couldn't vote because people were fighting for women to be able to vote back then?
It's a nonsensical point because there is no good angle of attack against people fighting for others' rights. It's disgusting.
That's the America we want to bring back. That's why I'm a Republican. I'm a Republican because of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution and the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
Those are ending slavery, due process, and what was 15? I don't remember. 19th is women's right to vote, and 15th is it's voting rights. You can't deny a citizen the right to vote based on race, color, or previous condition of servitude. So you're telling me that you're a Democrat then? This is wild to me. People deny reality by claiming that there was no party switch. Anyway, the point is that, like, we've known that these people were like this for a long time. We can hear Trump saying things like this all the time. I'm surprised that people are surprised. Since Politico began making inquiries, one member of the group chat is no longer employed. Oh, I read that. A liberating atmosphere. The 2,900 pages of chats shared among a dozen millennial and Gen Z Republicans between early January and mid-August chronicle their campaign to seize control of the National Young Republican Organization on a hardline pro-Donald Trump platform. Many of the chat members already work inside the government or party politics, and one serves as a state senator. Together, the messages reveal a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, and violent rhetoric circulate freely, where the Trump-era loosening of political norms has made such talk feel less taboo among those positioning themselves as the party's next leaders. This is what I don't get. Like, if you're Jewish, how can you vote Republican? This is what the Republicans have to offer. Yeah, they might be supporting Israel right now, but trust me, they want Jews dead. Believe me on this one. Just a reminder, I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out my Patreon. If you're not going to donate, you don't have to, but follow me there at the very least. owenmorgan.com/Patreon. Just in case something happens with the government or whatever. It would be really good if you had some way to connect with me and my content. I'm really concerned about that. And maybe you should consider that for other creators too. The more political atmosphere is open and liberating, like it has been with the emergence of Trump and a more right-wing GOP even before him. It opens up young people and older people to telling racist jokes, making racist commentaries in private and public, said Joe Fegan, a Texas A&M sociology professor who studied racism for the last 60 years. He's also concerned the words would be applied to public policy. It's chilling, of course, because they will act on these views. Oh, 100%. The dynamic of easy racism and casual cruelty played out often in dark, vivid fashion inside the chats, where campaign talk and party gossip blurred into streams of slurs and violent fantasies. This is Peter Guinta, and he's the one that was in the group chat. Wow, that's absolutely nuts, dude. So I think they made all of the chats public. They made them available to everybody.
How did that even happen?
Somebody in the chats, I guess, decided to leak them. Thing is, it's hard to hide things from people for long. Like, the most guarded secret of the Bush administration ever was that they were torturing people. That's a pretty big deal, that they were torturing. I mean, top secret, can't discuss it outside of secure bunkers type of thing. And it leaked. And it didn't even take that long to leak. This is the reason why I always say it's clear as day, obvious that flat Earth is not real, because it would have leaked. People would have revealed the truth about whatever a long time ago.
And to be fair, when you're doing something objectively evil and wrong and immoral, like threatening to, or like saying that you want your political opponents to go into gas chambers, someone is going to recognize that that's wrong. Someone's going to figure that out and talk about it.
I guess that's what happened. Most read, I Love Hitler. Oh, no, I guess these are just the articles.
Yeah, the other articles about it. He also apologized.
Yep. Mixed into informal conversations about whipping votes, social media strategy, and logistics, the members of the chat slung around an array of slurs, which Politico is republishing to show how they spoke. Epithets like the F word for gay people and the N word appeared more than 251 times combined. In one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for Ort, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. God, I hesitate to read this without like pre-screening it because I worry I'm going to like accidentally say a slur when I'm not thinking. I'm just reading through. This is nuts, dude.
There are no slurs, luckily.
Giunta responded, I wish I knew how to pronounce that dude's name. Giunta responded that the woman was not Indian. Oh, okay, but the other things
She was fat.
obese, not just fat.
Obese.
Obese is viewed as a slur in some kind of whatever. Let me rephrase. Obese is often used as a slur against heavy people. So, it's the kind of thing that a lot of people don't like.
Junta.
Okay. She just didn't bathe often. Samuel Douglas, a state senator from northern Vermont, and the head of the state's Young Republicans replied to Junta. In a separate conversation, Junta shared his flight to Charleston, South Carolina, landed safely. That was oddly worded. Then he offered some advice to his fellow Young Republicans. If your pilot is a she and she looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end it there. Scream the no word, Junta wrote. I don't understand what.
I don't know.
Word. Is that the N word?
Maybe, but he's saying something similar to what Charlie Kirk said, where he said if a black man is flying his plane, he's gonna question the guy's credentials.
Yep.
And I feel better now.
No, I mean, like,
that.
you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
And by the way, I can't help but notice what fine specimens of men these people are. Look at these chads. This is a total chad right here. I could only wish that I am this manly. This guy right here. You seeing this?
I'm seeing it.
Guy's so manly. This dude, look at this. Peak manhood right here.
Why does he look like Trump if Trump was like less orange?
Hey, are you making fun of his manhood right now?
Are you saying Trump isn't manly? How dare you?
Male. This is an alpha male.
Not a true Republican.
You've never seen an alpha male before, but this is what they look like.
I feel mansplained. This is what they look like.
It's so bad.
This is what alpha men look like, because alpha men don't actually have to. They don't have to do anything. They get to sit around and order people around because they're alphas and amazing.
Another alpha male right here.
Why do they all have a very distinct hairstyle?
True alphas like to look alike. That's why.
Except for that dude. His hair is shaved on the sides.
In all seriousness, this is actually a Nazi haircut.
Yeah, no, I figured. That's low-key the haircut that this terrible guy I dated had, with the shaved sides and the...
Well, I mean, normal people have it too, so there's no way of knowing for sure, but...
Well, he does suck. He is a Trump supporter.
A Magapotamian, if you will.
Yeah, at least his father is.
Anyway, really insane. Politico reached out to Denendry Herbert. Wow, what a name. A spokesperson for the Attorney General, who also serves as a Kansas Republican chair, and shared with her excerpts of the chat involving Hendricks. In response, Herbert said, "We are aware of the issues raised in your article and that Hendricks is no longer employed in Kobach's office." I mean, this is all standard practice. This is how these people talk. This is how they've always talked and acted. Like, I heard people say things like this all the time in high school, for example. Like, scumbag Republican nutcases in high school used to say this kind of thing all the time.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
According to the description provided by Politico, comments were heinous, anti-Semitic, racist, and unacceptable, he continued, noting Stefanik has never employed anyone in the chat. If the description by Politico is accurate, Congresswoman Stefanik calls for any New York Young Republicans responsible for these horrific comments in this chat to step down immediately. Like I said, this is the future of the Republican Party. These are the future leaders of the party. And Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York State, commented on this as well.
Question.
Politico reported on a group chat of a bunch of young Republicans. I'm wondering your thoughts on that, and does this reflect, is it just some bad apples in this chat?
Is this just some bad apples in the chat, he says.
Or do you think that there's a toxicity around the entire party?
Some bad apples. These are the future of the Republican Party. This was so vile. It is hard to find the words to put into context that these are people who are part of a political party, one of two major political parties, and they believe in gas chambers and rape and discrimination based on the color of people's skins. These are racist, sexist, disgusting remarks. And I would say this, we have a leader from the Republican Party in this state, the highest ranking individual, who in the backdrop of all this calls our candidate for mayor, one of our candidates for mayor, a jihadist and a terrorist, and then somehow says, oh, what they said, these young Republicans, was wrong. Like, look at what you say yourself. Look at your inflammatory words.
I used to feel like people who address these types of controversies were kind of virtue signaling and they don't really care. But I think we're beyond the don't really care phase, and we are now in the they're literally talking about gas chambers phase. Like, if you don't care about this type of thing right here, you're broken inside and there is no hope for you. It seems like, right? I mean, this is insane.
And maybe they have an effect on these young people, many of whom you support and have supported you. And you ought to just do a little re-examination of how far this has gone, where this is normalized enough that thousands of texts are uncovered. This is not one person saying they love Hitler.
No, this is the leaders, the future leaders of the Republican Party. We should be concerned. This is the current leaders, honestly. Some of them were in current leadership. And this just shows, like, in a group of 3,000 people, it shows how comfortable they are talking to other Republicans and how they know that there won't be any consequences for what they say because they all agree with each other. They didn't know every single individual in those group chats. Imagine going into a group chat of 3,000 people and being comfortable enough to say that you love Hitler and that you want gas chambers to come back. And this is just now leaking. I would love to know who leaked it.
There's a whole lot of people saying things that are so disgusting and so abhorrent that everybody from the president on down should condemn them. And there's got to be consequences. Kick them out of the party. Take away their official roles. Stop using them as campaign advisors. There needs to be consequences. This bullshit has to stop.
Interesting. I mean, I have a billion examples of Donald Trump being even worse than some of that. But here's just one example that I pulled earlier today. It was in the same, like, this isn't even the worst example, but it was in the same folder because I had just downloaded it. But listen to this. Donald Trump sitting here at a table taking a question from a female reporter.
As China deepens its presence in Latin America, what role do you see for the U.S.?
So I think she's asking, as China deepens its ties to Latin America, what are we going to do about that?
China deepens its presence in Latin America. What role do you see for the U.S.?
I just like to watch you talk.
I just like sitting here watching her talk.
No?
Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Good job. Thank you,
And
Don.
didn't answer.
Thank you, darling. That is like the most sexist shit I think I've ever seen in my life, maybe. That was pretty bad. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, the president is doing this stuff. You're talking about like the Young Republicans group, talking about this stuff. The president is doing this. There's got to be accountability. And I'm telling you, we're going to see accountability before this is over. Wait and see. There will be courts. Elon Musk, in my opinion, going to spend the rest of his life in prison when Trump kicks it. God willing, at a ripe old age of 103 in his bed. When he kicks it, Elon Musk, Pam Bondi, and all the rest of these extremist nutcases who are facilitating the destruction of democracy are going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments.